Well, hello, everyone, and welcome here to Nashua. Nick Anastas, Kristen Cameron with you, getting set for the 2026 NHIAA Girls Lacrosse Division I semifinal matchup between the number 2 Souhegan Sabres and the number 3 seed Pinkerton Astros. This one a rematch from nearly a month and a half ago. A lot has changed. Both teams have stayed hot. That's been the consistent. Souhegan, after losing game number 3 on the regular season calendar to Portsmouth, rattled off 12 straight to close out the regular season. Got themselves a nice victory in the quarterfinal round, and once again are here in the semifinals in 2026. Pinkerton right behind them in the standings, 13-5 overall. Pair of regular season wins to close out the calendar, and they breeze through the quarterfinals to arrive hungry to avenge what was a 15-4 loss back on April the 27th.
We've got a great matchup here today, and one of the things that I'm excited to see is the star duo from the Souhegan Sabres, Izzy Stevenson and Libby Kennedy, face off against an incredible goalkeeper for the Astros, Paige Fenner, committed to Denver. She has been a standout all season long. I'd love to see some sharpshooters against a ferocious netminder.
Well, you mentioned it, a number of NCAA-bound student athletes on the field for both teams, set to display their talents in front of this growing crowd here. It's not too bad weather-wise. A little bit of rain perhaps in the forecast, but overcast skies, pretty cool down there for this time of year on the field. So we should get max effort both ways. What are we looking for here, Kristen? Give us some keys for both teams.
Draw controls have been key all season across this Division I landscape. Teams that can control the ball, generate more possessions for their offenses have been really successful. And then I think defense is going to be huge today. Both teams have great offensive power, but really who can create more stops. And those big stops are advantageous in terms of generating momentum. So excited to see what we've got here.
Of course, both head coaches very experienced as well. On the Souhegan sideline, we have McKinley Spordoni, who did guide the Sabres to the championship round a year ago where they fell short to Portsmouth. Pinkerton, of course, has been led by KT Bork now for the last few seasons, and both teams have a nice balance up and down the roster in terms of upperclassmen. Some of these young stars, the sophomores on both teams, have made an impact, so both programs certainly healthy. In this season, the latest example, perhaps, of that.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, the matchup between these two teams was 6 weeks ago. That a lot can change in that time. The season goes by so quickly, and these teams, 10-plus games later, have had a lot more time to build their chemistry, figure out how to play together. And so this game, we're starting from a clean slate.
All right, you mentioned a couple of names to watch. How about some of the role players here? Who do you think could step up, so to speak, in a big spot?
Yeah, for the Sabres last week, I was really impressed by the Curran sisters. Emmy and Avery had an excellent game. Those two, they've obviously grown up together. They have great chemistry on field, and so excited to see what they string together today. And then for the Astros, I've been really impressed all season by Francesca Doyle and Delaney Summers are two to watch. Both two-way midfielders who contribute on both ends of the field.
Of course, the winner goes on to Tuesday night's Division I championship. The other semifinal comes your way at 6 o'clock Eastern tonight. That features top seed and defending champion Portsmouth against number 4 seed Exeter. Souhegan, the number 2 seed, they'll wear the home whites here on this neutral field at Stello Stadium, a turf surface here. And I mentioned the quarterfinal matchups. They really had no problem with Bishop Girton, 11-2 the final score there, and Pinkerton a 10-6 win over their rival Londonderry to advance to this afternoon. All right, Pinkerton, you heard them down there on the sidelines. They're loud, they're ready to go. They're in their road reds with the light lettering. Coach Bork addressing the ladies in the circle. And on the other side, as we mentioned, Coach Spordoni, all business with her group as well as the Sabres get set to take the field. Is this the kind of weather you want? Saturday afternoon, early June. It's a little humid, but a little bit of a breeze. What do you think?
It's muggy out there. It's
It is.
not the most beautiful June day I've ever seen, but it's a great day for playoff lacrosse regardless.
Probably better than rain, though, right?
Sometimes that can be a little refreshing. Rain
Okay.
brings a fun element, I have to say. A
Okay.
rain game, which we could see partway through this game. I think everyone likes to have fun, play some lacrosse in the rain. But, could change conditions with the surfaces and whatnot, depending how the turf handles the water.
Growing crowd here at Stello Stadium. And I'd say the allegiance probably split about 50-50. There is some Astro red off to our left. Looks like the Souhegan fans made the short trip from Amherst are wearing white to support the number 2 seed. You mentioned some of the keys, Kristen. I'd imagine the ride may play a factor one way or the other for both these skilled teams.
Yeah, play between the two restraining lines, between the 30s, is not to be overlooked. If you can ride effectively, if you can clear the ball with poise, those are where teams are going to be fighting for those caused turnovers, fighting to keep possession. I see a lot of the game happens in the midfield. And we saw Souhegan was just excellent at their ride last week, and so knowing that that's a strength that they can build upon, going to look to, for those Astros to have really strong stick protection and overall just field awareness. The more you can move the ball and let the ball work for you rather than legging it, with this short stretch between the semis today and championship on Tuesday, obviously the teams are focused today getting this win, but if you're looking ahead, you got to have fresh legs in just a few days.
Yeah, and you mentioned certainly a busy time of year for the players, calendar-wise, given all the end-of-the-year activities, including graduation in some cases. But I'd imagine they're focused, right? You played in this big spot. Nerves, do they play a factor, or I guess it depends on the player, right?
Yeah, they certainly do. I mean, this is as high stakes as it gets. You're playing for a spot in the championship, trying to take home that title at the end of the season. And then for a lot of players, there are emotions too. Playing when your last seasons with the seniors who are going to be headed on, many of them to play college lacrosse. And so, you're seeing your friends start a new chapter. And so that can play a factor too. But I mean, it's such a fun time of year, and it's a true privilege to be able to play playoff lacrosse.
8 seniors for Pinkerton, 6 on the other side for Souhegan. Starting lineups being introduced here in Nashua. And we're just a few moments away from what should be the opening face-off shortly after the hour. First of 2 Division I semifinals here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire. We're broadcasting, of course, in conjunction with the NFHS Network. And we'll be doing so later on tonight as well for the second semifinal between Portsmouth and Exeter. So we've got the stick checks complete. Pinkerton starters have been announced. And the first name I believe you mentioned tonight, Kristen, was Paige Fenner, the last starter to be announced as the goaltender. A lot of weight on the goalie's shoulders in these do-or-die situations.
There certainly is, but knowing Paige, she is up for the challenge. She just brings such great energy to the cage. We'll hear her all the way up here talking to her defense, really leading that unit. She is just a brick wall, and she was such a highly touted recruit last summer because she has so much presence out there. She really is a leader, not just of the defense, but of the whole team.
Molly Benson is her counterpart, a senior for Souhegan, who seemingly has gotten better as the year has gone on. You mentioned that broadcast that you and I were at towards the end of the regular season, a big win over Bedford. She looked outstanding at times in that game.
Yeah, really great. Souhegan came out of the gates a little bit slower in that game versus Bedford, but as they progressed through the game, Molly Benson really made an impact, helped them build momentum, and ultimately run away with that one.
All right, let's throw things down to the field for the national anthem.
The The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The Tomahawks prepare players to compete at the highest level, providing access to the best regional and national tournaments for maximum exposure. More than 1,000 alumni have gone on to compete at the collegiate level, including the ACC, Big Ten, Big East, Ivy, Patriot, NESCAC, NE10, and more. At the New Hampshire Tomahawks, players train with the same coaches and teammates, building elite skill, chemistry, leadership, and confidence. Every session combines high-level, position-specific instruction for all positions. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18 with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another lacrosse program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18 with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Well, there it is, the national anthem setting the stage for the first of two Division I semifinals here on a muggy Saturday afternoon in June. Nick Anastas, Kristen Cameron with you, the championship round, where, of course, we'll be broadcasting live from Bill Ball Stadium in Exeter. Souhegan and Pinkerton set to start. Portsmouth and Exeter later on tonight, 6 o'clock Eastern. These two teams met what seems like a long time ago at this point, April the 27th. It was a lopsided victory by Souhegan in Amherst, 15-4, the final score there. Pinkerton certainly has improved since. They've won 3 straight, including the quarterfinal victory over Londonderry. Souhegan, they have been hot really all season. Started 2-0, lost in a game we covered back in late April against Portsmouth. That's the only blemish on the record. Sabres rattled off, including Thursday night's playoff win, now 14 in a row after finishing the regular season at 15-1. Of course, everybody chasing defending champion Portsmouth as the Clippers ran the table to capture the top seed. All right, Souhegan in white, Pinkerton in red. Hard to tell if that surface is a little damp or not. We did have a little bit of a sprinkle pregame, but the rain did not sustain. A lot of humidity in the air, a lot of pollen in the air as well. Adelina Judge will take on Emmy Curran. Judge for Pinkerton. Curran, the sophomore, for Souhegan. Both sidelines are loud. Both head coaches watching near midfield. First of 4 12-minute quarters up on the board here at Stello Stadium. The official backtrots, blows the whistle. The ball is in the air, and we are underway. This one is going to end up with Souhegan. Quick restart, short pass. Sabres set to operate first here, right to left on the game's opening trip.
Right off the bat, Souhegan, similar to what we saw, they take their time on offense. They like to get touches. They work the ball around all the way through X behind the cage until they feel really good. They like to get all the players involved and then get something set up. They've got really strong dodgers, and so we'll see what Pinkerton opts to do defensively. Looks like they're going with man-to-man right now, trusting.
Here's a pass middle. That one knocked away. Stevenson trying to recover, does so for the Sabres. Souhegan looks to pull it back. Curran back for Stevenson. Even a little bit of room here on the perimeter. And the Sabres will try their luck now behind the cage.
So I spoke too soon. I'm seeing the backer now that the Astros are running. So they're in that zone, leaving a player on the backside open.
Shot. That one may have been tipped. It's going to stay inbounds. Now the official blows the whistle, and Pinkerton gets the stop they wanted.
That's a great early stop for them, and definitely boosts the defense's confidence knowing that, it's very early in the game, but you got to trust your teammates, trust each other, and their preparation showed through in that first defensive set.
It was a good move by Lanai Hickman, the junior headed to Merrimack College, but a little wide on the shot. Meanwhile, Pinkerton on the clear is going to turn it over. Errant pass ends up in the Astro bench, and the Souhegan ride cashing in early.
Yeah, they are ruthless in that ride, and it's worthwhile for them to exert that energy there because they do cause meaningful turnovers, and right away this gives them another opportunity to attack and wear down the Astros defense.
2 minutes in, Souhegan threatening to strike first. Short pass ends up low. Curran, good scoop, going to keep it here with the Sabres. Now 2 players behind the net. Fenner, the goaltender, headed to Denver University, watching at the back end of the defense. This is Libby Kennedy, who is BU bound. High pass pulled in near wing, now back to the top, swung to the far side, where it's reeled in over the shoulder by Stevenson. Stevenson can't quite crack the code, goes back door instead, and there on the doorstep is Fenner with the first save.
Wow, Paige Fenner, she's all over the place, but one thing to note about her is she's a lefty, so we've talked about this before. Does the hand of a goalie make a difference? It certainly does, because most players are used to shooting on a righty goalie, and she plays a high crease. I think she made that save maybe even outside of the crease, so her presence there is meaningful.
Meanwhile, the Astros on the attack for the first time. Draw a whistle, and it looks like a free position shot is on the way for Pinkerton. Change of events here, 3.5 in after playing defense to begin the game. The Astros, and with a golden opportunity, perhaps at least, to strike first. Coming down the alley with a bouncer, up and in. Score it for Milena Mara, the senior. Not to be denied there. Pinkerton takes advantage, 1-0.
Great take and a low finish. Now, to our viewers out there, we've got quite the bird's eye view, so numbers are a bit challenging, but I do believe that was Francesca Doyle with
you're
the
right,
goal.
9. Yep, 9, not 3. That's Francesca Doyle, the senior, one of many NCAA-bound student athletes playing today. She's going to head to URI. Doyle's got them out in front, 1-0.
She's been a leader for this team across her 4 years. She's just one of those calming presences on the field, but she's a fighter. She is really tenacious out there. But again, she's just great leadership and a great start for her in this game.
So 1-0 Pinkerton. Less than 4 minutes in here, first quarter. Souhegan answers the bell by winning the faceoff. Good play on the wing there. And now the Sabres right back to work. Held the ball really for the majority of the first 3.5 minutes, but only produced 2 shots, 1 on cage. Now 1-on-1 here on the far side. He's going to skip around. This is Stevenson looking for options. Goes with a long pass up top. Curran fakes the step down. Goes back near side for Kennedy. Kennedy tries to draw a crowd and does get the whistle. Just out in front of the crease.
Looks like the officials calling 3 seconds there. So I like that call. I thought that it was pretty clean from the Astros defenders, keeping their sticks up, not making contact there. But again, you have to be marked up on a player within a stick's length. If you do so for more than 3 seconds, it's going to put a player on the 8-meter.
So Libby Kennedy tries to go to the left there, bounces off the post. And on the ensuing ground ball, we have another whistle.
Yes, we had a pair of players fighting for that ground ball. Looked like Suki Folsom for Pinkerton just stepped over the line ever so slightly, which is going to award possession to the Souhegan Sabres. 3
officials here for a tournament game. Fenner briefly out of the cage. Now back in between the pipes. Souhegan looks once again to produce something here. This Pinkerton defense has communicated well, as you highlighted in the pregame so far, as we near the midway point first quarter, keeping Souhegan off the board. Long pass, Curran draws another whistle. Again against Pinkerton. This one from 12 meters.
Yep, that's exactly what you want to do as an offensive player there. You know, even if you don't have the lane, pump fake hard like you want to take it to cage, and you're going to draw that foul.
Curran off the crossbar. It's 2 that have rattled the net. And once again, the official on the near side wing is all over that one.
Yeah, making that same call that we just saw a mere minute or so ago with that restraining line.
So back to work for Souhegan. Produced 4 shots here. 2 of them have gone metal. 1 was a save and 1 was wide. Pinkerton, they only needed the 1 free position shot to get on the board. Here's Avery Curran running away from 3 defenders there. That gets a rise out of the crowd. Just past the midway point, first quarter, 1-0 Astros.
Pinkerton's defense, they look just unbelievable. The way that they're moving and communicating, that you can tell the way that they have improved throughout the season. It is noticeable. And I think it speaks to the coaching too. Coach Katie Bork. We've got Justine Doyle also on the sidelines, who's the older sister of Francesca Doyle. You can tell that they're well coached, and I think coaching across the state has improved, where these teams are able to switch between zone defense, man defense, really play to their strengths and knowing their opponent. So great job by the Astros preparing for this one.
Coach Bork roaming the sidelines. Likes what she sees here on the clear. Going to draw a whistle along that far sidelines. Pinkerton's going to keep it. Another quick restart. It's going to go all the way to the cage here until finally a second defender steps in her way. We get a whistle. She may have stepped in the crease there. Oh no, we got an infraction against Souhegan. It's on the defense.
Yep, so that wasn't not a major foul. Couldn't see exactly what happened there, but they're gonna reset them on the 12 meter. So something less serious, less dangerous, not, no contact to the body.
Nearing the 4-minute mark, first quarter. A goal by Doyle, the difference so far. Pinkerton with a 1-0 lead. And another restart coming here behind the cage.
Yeah, Emmy Curran made contact with the head there. Can't tell exactly who that is, but she's going to be sidelined with a yellow card. So that's 2 minutes non-releasable, which means the Astros are a player up and have a huge opportunity to cash in.
Coach Spordoni going to come over to the penalty box to chat with the sophomore, who appeared not to have agreed with the call there.
Nick, you asked me about nerves. I think maybe less about nerves and more about just control. So a situation like that, that's not a foul we typically see this early in the game, but with, intense play, I'm not surprised. They're competing hard, fighting hard, and that's something that you can see happen.
Meanwhile, good play in the cage by Benson. Able to vacate, stick out the stick, so to speak, and win possession for her team. Souhegan now working out of their own end against the Pinkerton Ride. 3.5 to play first quarter. The sun popping out for the first time here in southern New Hampshire. It's been a cloudy day in Nashua so far.
That was a really critical cause turnover for Souhegan. If they can maintain possession here, which they weren't able to do, that could have really helped them getting that ball and able to kill off that penalty. But now the Astros have another opportunity with still time left on this yellow card.
Nice job here by Suki Folsom, the junior, headed to Stonehill. Finally gets rid of it. Coming down the middle is Ashley Clouthier, the junior. Being hounded here along the near side as we move inside of 3 minutes. The defender is Stevenson. Short pass. Ball protected well. Clouthier looking for room. Now back up top for Doyle.
Now this is the first look that we're really getting at the Astros offense because their first goal came quickly off of a free position. But again, we're going to see something similar with Suki Folsom sent to the line.
A lot of contact there. Folsom. Wave that stick here, thinking about a shot perhaps. She's got a player to each side. 3 to her left, 1 to her right. Going to step down, fire, and score. Good attempt by Benson, sticking her right leg out, but that one had some speed to it. 2-0 Pinkerton, both goals now coming on the free position shot.
Great placement there by Folsom on the shot. Really looked like she was high. Benson looked like she was ready for a high shot. She's her arms away from the body and just finds that bottom left corner. Really great take. And, for Souhegan, just like the way that yellow card played out with that contact, I think they've got to just try to control and rein in that contact on inside the 8 meter. If we can hear those sticks clashing from up here, the refs are certainly going to call that.
Can be easier said than done when the other team is kind of pushing the issue, right?
Yeah, potentially. But, you've got to learn how the refs are calling the game. You got to read the situations. And if they're going to call it tight, then you've got to adjust.
2-0 Pinkerton. First 2 face-offs went Souhegan's way. The third one will as well, as it's scooped up near side by Stevenson. This Pinkerton defense has been tough to crack. Souhegan, they have produced some shots here, Kristen, but just haven't lit the lamp just yet.
Yeah, that's, I was excited to see Paige Fenner play in this game. Even though a couple of those shots did hit crossbar or pipe, the goalie's presence, her position, can really affect those shots. Trying to shoot around her, you have such a smaller area to place that ball when she's taking up so much space in the cage. Just the way she carries herself.
There's another save. That ball's still loose, though, near side, and it's going to stay with Souhegan as Stevenson knocked down on the shot, and the officials are going to say slow it down here. Yep, free position shot coming. Stevenson went flying as we get a look at the replay. Now Fenner with a couple of stops, including the one we just saw. Can the junior do it again? Stevenson denied. Sliding save there to her right. Going to exit the cage now and help out on the clear.
It's the kind of thing that you don't see most goalies in New Hampshire lacrosse make that kind of save. Fenner goes off stick side high, just grabs that one out of the air. Again, we're seeing the Astros take their time. Souhegan is aggressive in the right. They've got a double team here on this sideline, forcing Pinkerton to use both sides of the field. So as I mentioned earlier, ball movement's going to be key here. You've got to zip the ball around if you want to beat these defenders who are actually their attackers who are playing defense right now.
It's been a good matchup so far. Final seconds, first quarter. Pinkerton with a 2-0 lead. Astros looking to avenge a loss to the Sabres from earlier this season. Pinkerton playing it conservative here, not gonna turn it over as we end up with a 2-0 score after one. Good opening scene here, 12 minutes in. Astros take advantage of a couple of free position shots. Souhegan has produced, a number of shots. Already 3 saves for the standout Paige Fenner for Pinkerton. 2-0 Astros after one. Right back to Nashua in just a moment. You are watching the 2026 NHIAA Girls Lacrosse Division I Semifinals here on Friday Night Lights New Hampshire, broadcasting in conjunction with the NFHS Network.
The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18, and spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Well, Pinkerton with a 2-0 lead after one quarter. A trip to Tuesday's championship game on the line. Nick Anastas along with Kristen Cameron. It's the 2026 NHIAA Girls Lacrosse Division I Semifinals here on Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. We're broadcasting in conjunction with the NFHS Network. 2 free position goals, one from Francesca Doyle, the other from Suki Folsom, has Pinkerton out in front. But the story for us, at least off air, was the play in that first quarter of the junior goaltender Paige Fenner for Pinkerton. Some very impressive stuff through 12 minutes.
Yeah, she's by far the best goalie in the state, and it's showing today early on. She is going to be the challenge for Souhegan to figure out, and she is what is keeping the Astros in this one right now. They haven't really played that much offense other than a couple free position shots, so she's really carrying them down there. Again, just a vocal leader, and she'll come out of the cage. She'll do it all. She'll even, try to create some offense and with those quick clears and such. But a bright spot for Souhegan has been their ride.
Yeah.
They've gotten the ball back for themselves a couple times. They are playing really hard there, and overall they've been aggressive, more so defensively than I have seen them offensively. So I'm sure, between quarters in that huddle, they're talking about, all right, how do we break down this zone and get a cleaner look inside?
The Sabres, 15-1 during the regular season. Winners of 14 straight coming into play this afternoon. Trying to get on the board here, trailing 2-0. They won all 3 faceoffs and outshot Pinkerton 5-2. Unofficially, of course, in that first quarter.
Possibly the only time all season that they've gone scoreless in a quarter.
I'd say that's a safe assumption. This one's still up for grabs. And finally scooped up by Souhegan's Meredith Highmark. Highmark, one of the members of this outstanding sophomore class for Coach Bordoni. What's been the key? You mentioned communication for Pinkerton and obviously goaltending, but it seems like the diagnosis has been there more often than not for the Astros.
Their zone moves really, really well. What I've seen with the backer that they had going, and then they seem to be taking Libby Kennedy out of play. So they're face guarding her pretty closely, which seems to be creating some problems for Souhegan's offense.
That pass ends up getting through the zone before it's picked up on the ground ball by Highmark and recycled now back to the top for Stevenson. Souhegan taking their time here, a patient possession. Now a minute gone by second quarter. Avery Curran with room. Going to attack here. Goes middle, lost the ball. We hear a whistle. And some contact there. Avery Curran, along with Emmy Curran. 2 big-time members of this offensive unit. A chance here to get her team on the board. We saw this scenario late in the first quarter. Fenner, the goaltender. Fenner stops her up high.
That was a tough angle for Curran, just given where she was lined up on the 8-meter. The lane that she had to cage aligned exactly with Fenner's strong side left hand. So I kind of saw that one coming, that Paige Fenner might eat that one up. But I think if I'm Souhegan, what I take away from that possession, it actually, the call for that 8-meter looked like pretty clean defense, but again, any contact with the body, the officials seem to be calling closely. So if I'm Souhegan, just attack harder and try to draw those fouls.
The officials have called it tightly, for sure, in this first half. We've seen a grand total of 4 combined free position shots, 2 apiece. 2.5 gone by, second quarter. Pinkerton working on a 2-0 lead. Backdoor. Tough catch for Doyle. Going to fire anyway and score. Boy, that one tough. A little bit of contact, able to release while fading to her right. A blazer. Makes this one 3-0 Astros.
How about that take from Francesca Doyle? She doesn't look like she's going to shoot that, and I don't know if Benson was necessarily ready for that release on the outside. The way that, her momentum was moving away from the cage. She's able to shoot through 2 defenders and almost one of her teammates down by the crease. So have to think that Molly Benson and Cage could have even been screened by those few players in the way. Loved a moment of celebration on the sidelines there between big sister and assistant coach Justine Doyle, just fired up for that goal.
The Doyles from a Lacrosse family, for sure. And we see that throughout the state with some of the stronger programs. A lot of the graduates will come back, right, and help out with the alma mater. So Pinkerton starting to build a lead here, 3-0, less than 3 minutes in second quarter. And this despite the fact that now Souhegan has won all 5 draws, including that one there.
Yeah, Pinkerton, they've scrapped for the possessions that they've had and made something with most of them. So, Souhegan, they have things going for them. They're winning the draws. They're causing turnovers in the midfield. They just have to figure out really how to get past Fenner at this point.
Stevenson given a free pass behind the cage, although the defender is watching. Now a nice pass out front. Another save to her left. Fenner with a handful of stops here in this first half, and that one as impressive as any. Now Pinkerton given space here on the ride. Long pass, tough catch. Ava Michelini, who is assumption bound, able to lower that shoulder a bit and escort the ball over midfield for the clear.
A great clear here by Michelini, able to handle the pressure. Again, the Souhegan ride was ever present. But, wow, Paige Fenner, I mean, you give her credit for creating this offensive opportunity for her team, though it doesn't seem like they were able to maintain possession.
Well, Benson, a scary moment there for Souhegan. Leaves the cage, nearly lost the ball. Instead, gets help from the official. So now Souhegan on the clear. Split dodge. Nice move there from Sophie Jacobs. Jacobs going to keep going. Jacobs, the junior defender, across midfield. And a nice individual clear there by Jacobs. Souhegan back to work here. They've had the ball more often than not so far in this first half, but still the goose egg up on the board.
Yeah, one of the things we've seen them, is play pretty slow. I like
another stop by
Kennedy
Fenner.
there. Yeah, she tried to play that quick offense, which is, I think, is a good change that would help them out right now. But again, Fenner is proving to be a thorn in their side.
But the right idea, though, playing downhill, so to speak.
Yeah, I like that, changing tempo, not letting the Astros defense get set, which has been solid.
Nice catch, shot and score. Milena Mara on the assist from Parker Knowlton. Good clear there, a transition goal. Makes it 4-0 Pinkerton.
Yeah, really, really great look there. One, key issue, though, that we see for the Sabres defense, and it's so tempting in transition, is you can't slide upfield and leave the low girl open. So even though it seems like the threat is that player with the ball charging toward the cage, the bigger threat is the player that you leave open right on that crease, which Mara just exposed with the Astros' fourth goal of the game. And noticeably absent here, too, is Delaney Summers, who I called out in the pregame as being a strong player to look for. Saw a player on crutches and was hoping it wasn't her, but looks like she will be sidelines for the duration of this game and the playoffs.
Her teammates, though, have stepped up. 2 free position shots got Pinkerton on the board early. Doyle and then Suki Folsom. And so far in this second quarter, Doyle a moment ago on the attack made it 3-0, and then a transition goal from Mara a moment ago. So 4-0, timeout Souhegan. Coach Sportoni, probably a well-advised timeout here. Kind of a dangerous point in the game. Still the first half, but the momentum now feels like is with Pinkerton.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I think this is a critical point to call a timeout, because while it is early in the game, and typically a 4-goal lead, could be deemed insignificant, that is very much within reach. But if you cannot score,
right,
if you have a goalie who is just standing in your way, then you've got to figure something out. One of the things that I've seen with the shots that Souhegan has gotten off is they've been quick releases or shots from just too far out. You've got to make her work a little bit more. You've got to get the goalie moving. You've got to fake, change your level, whatever you can. If you're going to shoot straight on or give her enough time and room, Paige Fenner's seeing the ball really well today.
Nick Anastas, Kristen Cameron with you. Semifinal number 1, Portsmouth and Exeter comes your way from Stello Stadium later tonight. Of course, everybody vying for a trip to Tuesday's big show, the championship game, which will be played in Exeter. We'll have coverage of that one live from Bill Ball Stadium beginning at about 7:15 on Tuesday. So, Souhegan, they've done a lot of good things here so far, including take care of things in the draw circle. They've outshot Pinkerton, but nonetheless, it's an uphill battle at this point. Still plenty of time before halftime. 7:02 remaining here, second quarter.
One of the differences I think we may see is it's gotten noticeably sunnier and quite a bit hotter since the game has started. And so you start to think about, managing your sidelines, managing your two-way middies, making sure you keep your players as fresh as possible.
Another face-off win for Souhegan. Sabres need it. They trail 4-0. Back on the attack. We head towards the midway point, second quarter. Already unofficially 6 saves for Paige Fenner in net. Souhegan also has hit the post twice. Once on the crossbar, once on the left pole. Meanwhile, Stevenson dancing up top, trying to create something. Hickman with a touch. And now back around it goes behind the cage. You can continue to hear the Astro defenders.
Yeah, they're still sticking with their face guard on Kennedy. They seem to like the matchup between Stevenson and Michelini. But looks like they could have been a three seconds there the way they're setting this one up.
They've called that already.
Yeah, and that's not something, the refs are always paying close attention to, so it's clearly a key to the game that they're calling today. And this time a shooting space, pretty clear.
Yeah. A lot of contact upstairs there as well, so that'll send Libby Kennedy to the far wing here from 8 meters. Kennedy, the junior, headed to Boston University in 2028. That one intercepted. Doyle read that one like a book, able to reach out and snatch it. Her pass a little too hot. Loose ball at midfield. Souhegan is there on the ground ball. Good hustle by Avery Curran.
Oh, that was a pretty interception. I mean, the one-handed grab. But unfortunately, we've seen Pinkerton do this a couple times. They're just not taking care of the ball in between the 30s.
You said that Souhegan ride has kept them close. Meanwhile, Kennedy goes down, and we get another whistle.
Looks like Lanai Hickman.
Oh, it's Hickman. Okay.
Yeah.
Hickman from 12 straight away. Inside of 5 minutes, second quarter. Souhegan hoping to get on the board. Fenner awaits. Bouncer swallowed up. Well, she's got the reputation as the best goaltender in the state, living up to that hype so far in this first half with 7 saves.
I mean, I'll extend that even further. She's looking like one of the best goalies in the country at this point. I mean, if you're Denver watching this is quite exciting for you. She's seeing the ball and eating everything up, making it really look easy.
Meanwhile, Doyle is double teamed and was hit from both sides there. Astros do get the clear and now look to settle in here with inside of 4 minutes to play until halftime. 4-0 Astros. 2 goals from Doyle, 1 from Folsom, 1 from Mara.
Looks like Souhegan, they're playing a bit higher pressure now. So whereas in the past they have been hanging back on the 8 and the 12, they're trying to deny passes and try something a little bit different. They've got to figure something out here.
Backdoor. Doyle, tough catch. Recycles it back to the wing for Michelini. Her pass knocked down. Ball ends up out of play, and somebody was holding there. According to the officials, Souhegan's going to get it.
Yep, and I do agree with that call. When the ball is down, I like to say, just go for the ball.
Yeah.
Go for the ball.
Meanwhile, Stevenson is pushed from behind. The defender was Folsom, riding her pretty well. Coach Bordoni in the ear of the junior. Issuing some last-second instructions here with 2:45 to play until halftime. Coming up at halftime, stats, highlights, analysis, full recap, and a preview of the other Division I semifinals set to take place tonight between Portsmouth and Exeter. All that coming up at halftime.
All right, with 2 minutes left, we're going to, Souhegan still, they're really taking time off the clock here. Again, and what should have been an easy goal for them, a clean look inside. Not only does Paige Fenner make this point-blank save, she then comes out for an interception.
Putting on a show here, draws a whistle behind the cage as well, ensuring her team's possession. 8 saves for Fenner. Pinkerton's got a shutout going. We have a timeout down on the field as Coach Bork elects to use her first. Pinkerton, 4-0 lead over Souhegan. It's been a fun first half here, Kristen.
Oh, Paige Fenner putting on a show, and I am entertained. Let me tell you, this is fun. But I really like that timeout from Coach Katie Bork. You know, her team hasn't been a sure thing in the clear, and so she's giving them a second to reset and really put something in, because they could make something of these 2 minutes if they're smart with this possession, if they put in a play right now to get this ball across the midfield.
And there is Fenner pumping up the crowd. She heads over to the bench. Unofficially 8 saves in this first half. Pinkerton 13-5 during the regular season. That overall record good enough to earn the number 3 seed in the tournament. Held off a stubborn Londonderry team in the quarterfinal round by a final score of 10-6. Souhegan arriving red hot, 15-1 during the campaign. A big win over BG in the quarterfinals. That was their 14th straight victory. But unable to score here in this first half so far. They've gotten good looks, right? The off-ball stuff has been pretty good. It's just the shots have been swallowed up more often than not by the Pinkerton goaltender, Paige Fenner.
Yeah, I think if you're Souhegan and you're not able to make your shots fall, you might as well just try to take more of them. I think they're taking down too much time on the clock right now. And again, not able to score for nearly half of the game so far means you've got to just start playing faster.
Coach Bordoni going to send her girls back onto the field here first. Coach Bork taking an extra moment. Both sidelines have been energetic. The crowd has been involved as well, and seemingly the numbers have swelled as this first half has unfolded.
Yeah, they have. But, you know, when we compare both the benches right now, Pinkerton looks like they're having fun. They are loud. They're energized. I mean, how can you not after the half that they've had so far? But this is where the Sabres have got to stay in it. This game is far from over. Just lift each other up. This is where your teammates, whether you're on the field or on the sidelines, you play such a role right now in supporting each other.
Sometimes all it takes is that one goal, right?
Absolutely. A juice goal can change a game.
Pinkerton in possession coming out of the timeout, going to work the full field here right to left. Final 2 minutes from Stello Stadium in Nashua. This is a one-man clear here.
Yeah.
Folsom just does it herself across midfield.
This is what we knew. This is why Coach Bork called that timeout, is to figure out how they were going to clear that ball. And it seems as though their run and gun has been more effective than their passing game in the midfield. And so while that will wear you down a little bit, you got to do what you got to do to keep possession.
Meanwhile, another free position shot coming from 8 meters. The Astros have made the most of these opportunities so far. 2 first-quarter goals came on free position shots. A sidearm and a nice stop there by Benson. Well, Benson up to the challenge. That's her second stop. A quick outlet pass as well, and some good speed here by Maddie Bain, the sophomore defender. Saw her skills in the clear game a couple of weeks ago, and a nice job there to give her team possession. And another shot here as we enter the final minute, second quarter.
Yeah, that was a really key save just to give Souhegan a chance to get on the board before the end of this game. I know that they're hungry for that first goal.
Meanwhile, a backhanded release there. Ends up wide. It's backed up by the Sabres. Quickly put it back in play. Up top with 35 seconds. Some footwork there. Does draw contact. Crafty move by Stevenson.
Yeah, Parker Nolan, she was close, very close to having that be clean defense. But again, the refs are looking for that on that horizontal stick they're going to call, and any extension of the arms.
Stevenson, bouncer, save. Fenner able to make a sliding stop to her right. Avery Curran keeping the foot on the gas for Souhegan. Down to 15 seconds. Back door, tough catch, shot there is high. Kennedy almost able to crack the code. Kennedy now on a split dodge attempt. Hit on the pass.
Charge.
Yep, they're going to wave it off here. It's a charge against Souhegan.
Yeah, great defensive positioning there by the Astros. Again, you had two players in place with their feet set and their sticks, again, very vertical, which meant if you try to run through those, that's going to be called.
That'll bring us to halftime. Pinkerton, with an all-world effort in between the pipes from gold center Paige Fenner, leads Souhegan 4-0. Coming up, full recap, stats, highlights, analysis, and a preview of the other semifinal between Portsmouth and Exeter. 4-0 Pinkerton. You are watching coverage of this 2026 NHIAA Girls Lacrosse Division I semifinal right here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire. We're broadcasting in conjunction with the NFHS Network.
New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The Tomahawks prepare players to compete at the highest level, providing access to the best regional and national tournaments for maximum exposure. More than 1,000 alumni have gone on to compete at the collegiate level, including the ACC, Big Ten, Big East, Ivy, Patriot, NESCAC, NE10, and more. At the New Hampshire Tomahawks, players train with the same coaches and teammates, building elite skill, chemistry, leadership, and confidence. Every session combines high-level, position-specific instruction for all positions. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18 and spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another lacrosse program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today.
New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18 and spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
We start the second half here in Nashua with Pinkerton leading Souhegan by a score of 4-0. Nick Anastas, Kristen Cameron with you. It's the 2026 NHIAA Girls Lacrosse Division I semifinals. Here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, we're broadcasting in conjunction with the NFHS Network. Well, Souhegan did everything right in a lot of respects in that first half. They won all the draws, 6 for 6. They outshot Pinkerton. Problem has been is an immovable object in the net. 9 saves for Pinkerton Jr. goaltender Paige Fenner. And the Astro attack have cashed in on a couple of free position shots, a transition goal. Seen 2 scores from Francesca Doyle in that first half. So Pinkerton, perhaps 24 minutes away from another championship appearance. Souhegan looking to come back if they want to win their 15th straight and head to Tuesday's championship.
Like you said, Souhegan is doing things right. It's just about making some just subtle changes on offense. Moving Paige Fenner is going to be key for them to figure this out. You know, it's really positive for them that they're winning draws, except for this one, and getting shots off. But an interesting second half here.
Nice job by Milena Mara, the senior, who has taken the draws for Pinkerton. Mara, one of the goal scorers in that first half for the Astros as well.
And we're seeing Pinkerton work the ball around a little bit. You know, up 4 goals. This is not the time to take the foot off the gas. Where, you know, they need to go to cage and play hard as ever. Because again, while they do have this 4-goal lead, they haven't played that much settled offense across the first 24 minutes. But how about that connection between Suki Folsom and Francesca Doyle?
Doyle with the hat trick as she scores on the doorstep to make it 5-0 Astros. Nice pass there, and you see the catch and fire from Doyle, the senior. On her way, of course, to URI. And Folsom is the Stonehill commit on the assist. So that combination has worked wonders for Coach Bork's Astros all season. They connect here in the first minute of the third quarter of the semifinals. 5-0 Pinkerton.
Really good cut there from Doyle. She caught Jacobs just a little bit off guard, so she had a few steps on her defender there. Suki Folsom, stick in the left hand, had her head up, and that's an easy connection.
Here comes Souhegan. Now on the attack, you mentioned perhaps if you're Souhegan trying to get to the cage, trying to get some whistles, and try and perhaps get even more shots early on in the possession. Is that the recipe?
Yeah, I think so. I think just attack harder. I mean, we haven't seen them use their 1v1 Dodgers all that much. And they're certainly capable of doing so.
Another save for Fenner. Able to stop Hickman from straight away. Fenner now with 10 saves unofficially, and she's going to leave the cage here on the clear attempt.
Yeah, Hickman, again, she had a great opportunity on the inside, but, you know, trying to just cherry pick corner and pop the ball in is not going to work on Fenner, who is just reading things very well and can just grab that up easily.
Meanwhile, player knocked down. That was Pinkerton senior Alexia Last. Last, one of 8 seniors on this Pinkerton roster. Here's a back check. That's high mark in pursuit there for Souhegan. Does make some contact. Pinkerton will keep it. 2 minutes in, third quarter. 5-0 Astros.
Yeah, Pinkerton, they've had a hard time with this clear. It takes a considerable amount of effort and attempts for them to get it over, but they find success this time, though. I'm sure Coach Bork on the sideline may have been holding her breath a bit there.
Meanwhile, Pinkerton will settle in here looking for goal number 6. Tossed over to Doyle. And now Folsom will circle back around, given plenty of room by the defender Kennedy. Folsom with a toss. Yeah, looks like Pinkerton's running a little bit of the weave here. Here's a drop step. It's Ashley Morrison, the freshman. Her pass knocked down. And we get a whistle.
Yeah, good control there by Morrison. Nick, you mentioned that weave and that kind of 2-man, 3-man game. They're locking off Francesca Doyle now after the hat trick, and so they're trying to use her defender who's sticking on her, that stubborn defender, to their advantage.
Meanwhile, Benson with another stop. She's starting to heat up in goal for Souhegan. Sabres off to the run on the clear. And escorting it safely across midfield, Marley Bacon, another member of this talented sophomore class. Sabres looking to settle in here on the attack. They've produced some good shots, but have not been able to crack the ice.
This is unfamiliar territory for Souhegan. I don't think it's possible that they've gone this long without scoring in any stretch this season. So playing from behind is not something they've been used to.
They're going to power their way to the net here. That one does sneak by Fenner. And Souhegan is on the board with 4 minutes gone by in the third quarter.
Looks to me like Avery Curran was able to fight her way through that. She had multiple defenders on her. But again, that was good placement past Fenner. She gets to the inside and puts that one low, and that is reason to celebrate. You know, Nick, you mentioned one goal can change everything. That's the most energetic I've seen Souhegan be all game, and so that celebration could lead to a run right here.
Trying to build with 4 minutes gone by third quarter. They've had the advantage in the circle. Souhegan has won 7 of the first 8 draws. It'll be Curran against Mara. And this one goes Pinkerton's way. Good play by Clouthier on the wing. So the Astros look for the answer, still with a comfortable lead of 5-1. As we go deeper into this third quarter. You mentioned Kristen as well. Perhaps Souhegan on defense comes out a little bit trying to challenge on the perimeter.
Yeah, they're definitely playing more aggressive. They're trying to limit Francesca Doyle's touches here, playing her pretty aggressively. Because one thing that, you know, the Astros aren't, they don't have the same stick skill level that the Sabres do, and so they're trying to play to their advantage there.
He's got a transition opportunity here. Avery Curran down the middle, lost the ball. We get a whistle from the trail official. It's going to stay with the Sabres.
Yeah, that early offense, and again, just trying to take it to the cage. The officials are calling really any kind of contact within the 8-meter.
Curran's going to drop it back. Back door, trying to find Curran again, in and out of her stick. Fenner is on the loose. The goaltender's got it. The Pinkerton Jr. bump there along the boundary. The official has her back. We've talked about those instincts. That's certainly a part of any good goaltender's game, the ability to go out and help out on the ground ball pursuit.
Yeah, and she just is fearless. You know, she will go out and get the ball. She'll run it all the way up the field if she has to. I think, you know, she has a degree of confidence with the ball and just, you know, on her half of the field in general, that it's all fair game for her.
Meanwhile, this is Morrison, the freshman, being hounded by 2 defenders, Hickman and Highmark. And we do get some contact here just in front of the Sabre bench as we hit the midway point, third quarter. Pinkerton with possession, looking to build on a 5-1 lead. Nick Anastas, Kristen Cameron with you. First of 2 semifinals here. Semifinals Saturday in Division 1. Portsmouth and Exeter come your way next. Astros look to settle in. They had a lead of 2-0 after the first quarter, 4-0 at halftime. Led 5-0 earlier in this third quarter. The last goal came from Souhegan. This is Michelini, the junior. We get a whistle away from the ball here.
The official is counting. So I don't think she saw a Pinkerton defender. So she was counting to make sure that there was no offsides. I don't think either team committed a violation, so they'll just reset the players and continue.
Michelini to her right, trying to power her way middle now. Flips it over to Knowlton. Sabres getting out and chasing here. Bodied up by Ben in the corner. Knowlton forced to give it up. Taken over by Michelini.
Souhegan making it very difficult for Pinkerton to move the ball. They've certainly stepped up their pressure and intensity on defense.
This is Bacon, the defender, chasing Mara. Mara steps out of bounds, but the official said there was an extended stick there. It'll stay at this end. Clock continuing to tick as we move towards 4 minutes to play in the third quarter.
Sophie Jacobs is still pretty much locking off Francesca Doyle, really trying to limiting her touches here. If Doyle wants to get involved in this offense, she's going to have to work harder to get open.
Meanwhile, after the ground ball, we get a whistle, and Souhegan's defense gets the reward as they force the turnover.
Yeah, this is a type of energy that we didn't see from their defense in the first half. They've really picked it up after halftime. It's noticeably different, and it's been very effective.
Meanwhile, Jacobs swimming upstream here on the clear, crosses midfield. And gets bumped on the split dodge attempt.
We're sensing a little bit of a frustration there from Francesca Doyle. She's been, shut down by Jacobs, who had it in the clear there. Really important to keep those emotions in check, remain in control.
Sabres trying to operate. Hickman left open. We get a whistle.
Yeah, Knowlton was pretty clearly in shooting space there. So again, if you're not within that, that stick's length and approach the attacker at an angle, they're going to call that because that player cannot shoot the ball safely.
Lanai Hickman headed to Merrimack to play NCAA lacrosse. Going to pass on the shot. Good closeout. Backdoor shot, score. It's Kennedy. Nice pass from Hickman, who paid the price, being knocked down on the play. Kennedy cashes in, and Souhegan trying to claw their way back in this one. It's now 5-2 Pinkerton.
Souhegan starting to figure out how to beat Fenner. Good job there by Kennedy. She has her stick. She's got it high, and then she really finishes hard, much lower with power. Even though it looks like she shoots on the stick side of Fenner, she does. She changes the level of that shot, which is key. When you shoot on the same plane, much easier for Paige Fenner to read that one.
So the Boston University-bound Libby Kennedy scores the second consecutive Souhegan goal. 2:54 to play, third quarter. Sabres right now with the momentum. This one goes skyward. It's batted near side, and it's scooped up knee-high by Kennedy.
Souhegan coaching staff starting to get into it. They see Coach Spordoni jumping up and down on the sideline, fired up after those couple of goals and that draw control win.
Can Souhegan score a third straight? Off the pick, Stevenson cut off on the switch. Flings it back near side. This is Kennedy, goal line extended. Comes right, whirls a shot there, a whistle on the release. And the officials are going to bring it back here.
Kennedy figured it out the last time. We'll see if she can take it in close on Fenner this time.
Right down the alley, top shelf score. Beats Fenner upstairs, 3 straight by the Sabres. They're within 2 at 5-3.
Good take there by Libby Kennedy. She was fast off the line. She takes it in exactly as she should, and within close range generates a good amount of power and beats Fenner off stick side high. I think, a few changes that we've seen post halftime, just so much more intensity, and it's evident even in the way that they're shooting the ball. The Sabres have got some power and some oomph behind these shots, and that is much tougher for Fenner to stop.
Inside of 2 minutes now, third quarter. Wind picking up a little bit here in Nashua. Sun back behind the clouds. Been an interesting day weather-wise so far here in the Gate City. Sabres have had the advantage in the draw circle. We get a whistle here early, and it looks like a redo is on the way.
Yep, the ball did not go over the player's shoulders, which means they're going to draw again.
It'll be Mara against Curran, Emmy Curran. That's been the exclusive matchup today. Folsom making that Francesca Doyle. Good position there to scoop it up on the wing. Pinkerton has it. And after scoring the first 5 goals in this game, now looking for an answer as Souhegan has captured the momentum. Get a whistle, though. It's got Coach Sportoni upset.
Yeah, a good call. A little bit late, but I did see the contact that led to that errant pass, so agree with the reset there.
Minute 20 to go, third quarter. Benson out of the cage for a moment. Knowlton now directly behind the net. And given room here. The official's going to send her to the corner.
Called something there against Curran. Now Curran, might be playing a little bit more reserved now because she does have that 1 yellow card. So if she were to get a second one, that would sideline her for the rest of the game.
Picked that up back in the first half. Folsom behind the cage with Doyle. Makes a move back out in front. Trying to find Doyle. Tough catch. 2 defenders in the area. Jacobs right on her. Final 35 seconds. Spin move. Folsom. Nowhere to go. Rainbow pass intercepted. Taken away by Maddie Ben. Ben with a split dodge is going to draw contact. It's one of Souhegan's better defenders right there.
Really good defense by Souhegan. They were all over that 2-man.
This one turned over at midfield. Down to 10 seconds. Pinkerton trying to beat the clock. Mara being hounded by Stevenson down to 5 seconds. Mara looks middle. She's got Morrison, the freshman. Back door. Player not quite ready. And that brings us to the end of the third quarter. Pinkerton's lead, it grew to 5-0. Souhegan answered with 3 straight. We got a 2-goal game as we head to the fourth quarter. Only 1 ticket to the championship is on the line. Will it be Souhegan for the second straight year, or does Pinkerton make the return to the final round? We find out next. Fourth quarter on the other side. You are watching the 2026 NHIAA Girls Lacrosse Division I Semifinals right here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, broadcasting in conjunction with the NFHS Network.
The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse, not just in the state, but in the country. For over 20 years, 95% of New Hampshire All-Americans have been Tomahawks. Looking to get recruited? Their directors help each athlete find the right college fit through individual guidance, strong relationships, and consistent communication with college coaches. The New Hampshire Tomahawks offer year-round training camps and leagues for ages 3 to 18, and spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
We head to the final 12 minutes here in Nashua. Fourth quarter set to start here at Stello Stadium. Nick Anastas, Kristen Cameron with you. It's the 2026 NHIAA Girls Lacrosse Division I Semifinals. The winner goes to Tuesday night's state championship game. The second semifinal comes your way next between Portsmouth and Exeter. Pinkerton, they had a 4-0 lead at halftime. Their goaltender, Paige Fenner, has been outstanding. That lead grew to 5-0 early in the third, and then Souhegan cracked the code. Goals from Avery Curran, Libby Kennedy, and then Kennedy again. Makes this thing interesting here. 5-3 our score as we get set for the final frame.
It's been a game of runs, and a fourth quarter run will determine who is headed to the state championship on Tuesday. Souhegan started to crack the code in that third quarter, figuring out how to play with more intensity defensively, add some power behind those shots, while Pinkerton started to get in the mix on the draw circle. They came away with a couple wins there that powered some goals, but, you know, I think this will be a scrappy fourth quarter, starting to see some animosity on the sidelines amongst the players. There's a lot on the line here over these next 12 minutes.
Yeah, the officials had to meet with both head coaches there during the break, as some of the passions perhaps getting loose on the sidelines. This has been a fun battle in the circle. Emmy Curran for Souhegan won the first 6, all in the first half. Her counterpart, senior Milena Mara, won 3 of the 5 for Pinkerton in that third quarter. And Mara is going to win the jump ball here, takes a tumble, and gets rewarded possession.
Seen that a couple times where Pinkerton's come up with it, and Stevenson makes contact that's just a little bit too hard for the officials' liking, so definitely something to watch out for.
This one knocked down and nearly stolen by Hickman for Souhegan. A whistle is going to give this to Pinkerton. Quick restart. Astros looking for space. They find it on the far wing and now look to settle in. They scored, Kristen, in the first minute after halftime, first minute of the third quarter. Souhegan keeping them off the board since, so it's been a while here for the Astro attack.
It has been. Souhegan has figured out how to shut down Francesca Doyle, who had that hat trick. They've really been relying on Suki Folsom to carry the load here, who is just being hounded by Kennedy.
Kennedy right on her hip, forces an errant pass. It's picked up by Souhegan. Quick pass for Hickman. Sabres have numbers. Curran running to her right. Hickman, though, going to slow it down. Gets a whistle. A little bit of a poke check there. Made contact. So Sabres get set for the restart. They can cut Pinkerton's lead in half, trying to crawl back within 1 as they trail 5-3. Stevenson, been one of Souhegan's better players all season, one of the state's better players. Dips her toes in the water. It's there. Nothing going. Now Curran goes backdoor for Stevenson. Pass broken up. It's loose, near wing. Stevenson almost had it. Does get the help of the whistle. Takes some contact on the elbow there. Souhegan Jr. rewarded with what looks like a free position shot here from 12 meters.
Yeah, getting called for a held stick there inside. We haven't seen the cleanest ground balls from the Astros. It's somewhere that they've struggled, and Souhegan has definitely outplayed them on the ground.
Stevenson shot and score. You see the reaction from a frustrated Fenner, who may or may not have gotten a piece of that one. The bouncer does end up in the net, and we've got a 5-4 game.
Yeah, Fenner, she didn't get a piece of it. It looks like she definitely saw that one. That was a save that she's pretty accustomed to making. So definitely understand why she's frustrated, but this is the time when you want to put that behind you. Goldfish memory, as they say. Next play.
Souhegan, red hot all season long. Winners of 14 straight. Coming into this afternoon, they trailed 5-0 early in the third quarter. They've scored now 4 in a row. As Stevenson, the junior, lights the lamp for the first time. Ground ball. Doyle's got the inside track and may have pushed off there. The officials are going to give this to Souhegan. Then a backtrack draws a whistle again.
Yes, we have an empty stick check from Stevenson and then contact. So we've seen that pretty consistently from her fouling after these draw controls.
Another bump here. And now Folsom trying to get out of a trap there on the sideline. Being ridden by Curran. Going to pump the brakes. Very little room to spare. Now it's taken over in the corner. There's Ben bodying up Someone got away from the freshman Grace Morrow, but now Morrow on the restart is going to try to find some separation. Does so. Her teammate takes over here. It's Folsom on the deep wing. Pinkerton with a 5-4 lead. Looking for their first goal in, well, nearly 15 minutes of game action. Not scored since the first minute of the third quarter. This is Mara being forced out, flips it over to Morrison. Freshman going to jog behind the cage where she's met by the defender Eva Stiles. Stiles, one of the seniors. Folsom took a shot up near the facial. The Astros like the call. That stick may have jarred her goggles loose.
Yeah, the Astros, they were doing a good job. Astros moving the ball and Souhegan playing clean defense, but Marley Bacon made contact with Suki Folsom's head, and so that's going to sideline her for 2 minutes with a non-releasable yellow card.
Saw this in the first half also against Souhegan. In that case, it was Emmy Kern. Here it's Marley Bacon. Folsom not going to shoot from a tough angle. Instead, elects to pull it back out where Doyle will take over.
A good smart play there by Folsom, because what's important here is possession, being a player up for these 2 minutes. You don't want to waste that opportunity on a tough angle on a free position. So good lacrosse IQ right there, good decision making.
Astros stay patient. Now 30 seconds into the penalty. We get a whistle. And again, that was Ben trying to jar it loose. Nice job by the freshman Morrow to protect. Morrow now set for the restart.
Pinkerton's been relying heavily on a trio of freshmen all over the field in the draw circle, on the attack in the midfield. Really trusting their youth and trusting their senior leaders to guide them through.
Yeah, we touched on that. Both teams really with a nice mix of classes up and down the roster. And really, there is no such thing as a freshman this time of year, right?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's got experience now.
The full season under your belt, expectations are high for everyone. Now, Pinkerton, being a player up, they're not moving the ball that quickly.
Got a whistle here. And what was it, shooting space here?
Yeah, shooting space.
It's going to give Doyle another chance here. Doyle, 3 of the 5 goals for Pinkerton. Step back, shot, and score. Well, offered a fake initially, got her footwork right, and then let it rip for goal number 4. Pinkerton, another free position shot goal, makes it 6-4.
Yeah, Francesca Doyle, she saw Stevenson coming in quickly. Stevenson was quick off the line, so instead of getting stomped by her, she just does a nice pullback and instead goes around the back of Stevenson. Again, you can kind of use that defender as a screen.
Yeah.
So Benson wasn't able to see that one. A good sidearm shot there.
Doyle, the senior, headed to URI. The Rams are getting a heck of a player. 6-4 Pinkerton, and Kristen, that's a timely goal for Pinkerton. Not just doubling the lead, but perhaps reinstilling some confidence.
Definitely. It had been slow for them for a while. They needed to end that scoring drought, and they have an opportunity to cash in even further now. So they're still a player up with Marley Bacon sidelined for Souhegan.
It's a good stab on the wing there by Kennedy for Souhegan that ensures the Sabres possession. As they now trail by 2 here, 6-4 as we approach the midway point fourth quarter. And as you know, Kristen, that clock starts to become a factor really from this point on.
It does. It's been a funny low-scoring game. I think both teams are used to a much higher offensive production, higher scoring than what we've seen here.
Tough shot in a crowd. Just an incredible catch there, surrounded by red jerseys, able to pull it in overhead and then find the back of the net to make this a one-score game yet again.
Yeah, Emmy Curran catches inside there, and she's able to finagle her stick and just kind of pop it in past Paige Fenner and Cage. Again, doesn't need much power here. That was much more of a finesse shot. Kind of lobs it over the top of Fenner's head. And so that was when we talk about how to level up and get past Fenner, there's power and then there's finesse. So she really figured out how to place that one.
All 5 goals allowed by Fenner have been since halftime. The Souhegan came in red hot, winners of 14 straight. Trailed by as many as 5-0 today. Back within 1 at 6-5 with an even 6 minutes remaining. Big face-off here. Into the sky the ball goes and played off the hop. Emmy Curran comes away from the pile with the ball for Souhegan. They've had the advantage there. Unofficially now 10-5.
That's been one of the things that has kept them in the game, even when they were in that 5-goal deficit. Having just those extra possessions, extra chances to take on Fenner has really made a difference.
They're within a goal here at 6-5. We get another whistle up top.
Yeah, going to be a 3-second violation. Looks like called on Knowlton.
He'll swing it. Good move. Shot. Saved by Fenner. Ground ball out in front. We get a whistle, and it's going the other way. Fenner with her 11th save, perhaps the biggest of the afternoon so far as we get another look. Shot there from Kennedy may have hit up in the shoulder area.
Yeah, Fenner, after letting a few of those ones by, she was ready for that one.
Yeah.
And I think, when you give her that kind of time and room to see the ball, that's exactly the kind of shot that she wants to see.
Knowlton and Hickman collide near midfield. The officials are going to keep it with Pinkerton.
Now, one of the calls that I like at the college level, or one of the rules, is that if you foul 2 times in transition, it's going to be a green card. And the green card rule is designed to, they don't want you to slow down the game. And so we see a lot of these repeated fouls in the midfield. Could be a fun rule to add to high school lacrosse.
Meanwhile, Coach Bork is excited. Coming down near the officials here, watching at the end of the bench as her team goes to work, trying to build on a 1-goal lead, looking for insurance with inside of 4 minutes to play in regulation.
The Astros have really been relying on these flip passes to get the balls to players who are being tightly guarded by the Sabres. So looks like Suki Folsom and Francesca Doyle are the 2 that they're relying on to generate offense here.
It's Mara trying to fight off the pesky defender Bacon. Bacon is on her. 3.5 to go. Another scoop pass, and players collide. Both Mara and Kennedy ended up on the ground. The officials say Pinkerton possession.
Yeah, I agree with that one. Kennedy, watching the replay, ran right into Mara, causing her to go down. So if you're going to try to get through a pick, you got to go over the top of it or underneath it. Cannot run through that defender.
Now inside of 3 minutes. Tough angle bouncer. Did it cross the goal line? The officials look at each other.
Yeah.
Astros celebrate, and Pinkerton is going to take a 2-goal lead at 7-5.
Snuck over the goal line ever so slightly. Suki Folsom is able to make that happen. She doesn't wait to get over the top of Kennedy. Instead, she opts to take that shot underneath from a low angle, and that ball just trickled over the goal line. So great call by the officials. That is a tough call to make, but yep, that went over. And that's a good goal. Love that celebration there from Ashley Morrison. She saw it, and she was certain that that was a goal for her team.
The freshman just jumped right up and down. 7-5. Huge insurance goal, the second of the afternoon for Folsom. And now Souhegan's back really up against the wall, trailing by 2 with 2:49 to play. This was the team that went 15-1 during the regular season, led by 6 seniors, 4 juniors, and 9 sophomores. Winners of 14 straight coming in to today. Going to need some last-minute miracles here. This one, we get a whistle off the bounce. Souhegan is given the green light. Emmy Curran going to take advantage. Comes right down. Shot, score! Heard a whistle there. Hang on. They're going to wave it off.
Yeah, they're going to bring this one back. So again, another rule that I like at the college level is if the player gets a shot off at the same time as the whistle, so if there's a concurrent shot and whistle, they'll let that be a good goal. But in this case, in high school lacrosse, we're going to bring that one back to the 8-meter for Curran.
Curran going to charge. The sophomore shoots and scores, and this time it will count. Souhegan is back within one at 7-6, 2:12 to play.
Good job by Curran, just getting right back to it. She said, if I can do it once, I'll do it twice. She's quick off the line, good stick control, even though she's got a defender closely on her, able to sneak it in that
like
inside pipe.
Fenner may have gotten a piece.
Fenner was close
right,
too, because that was her stick side high. So again, really good stick deception there. And we've got a game.
7-6. Pinkerton led 5-0 the first minute of the third quarter. Sabres have been playing comeback since. Coach Bork kneeling down near midfield at the head of the Pinkerton bench. Coach Spordoni with her hands on her hips on the Souhegan sideline. This one up for grabs. Emmy Curran goes down. We hear a whistle, and the Sabres have it. Souhegan with a chance to tie the game. Final 2 minutes. A trip to Tuesday's Division I championship game is on the line.
Now, if you're Souhegan, this next shot that you take to try to tie this up, that has got to be a sure thing, your guaranteed opportunity.
Backdoor, Stevenson not quite ready. The ball rolls into the crease, and the fire is stamped out by Fenner.
And that's the risk there of, a high-stakes type possession.
Got a timeout here.
Yeah, great call. For Pinkerton, that was a make-or-break play in this game. A save, a caused turnover was what they needed. Because with the momentum that Souhegan has right now, you let them tie this thing up, they could run away with this game in the last couple minutes. But again, a good timeout by Coach Katie Bork. We saw her call a similar timeout before to give her team a chance to set up the clear, to get the ball in the hands of the player that she wants, because this is something that they've struggled with all game long.
The winner plays Tuesday night. The other side of the bracket is, of course, top seed and defending champion Portsmouth against number 4 seed Exeter. That game is set to begin here in about a half hour. We'll have coverage of that, of course, as well. We'll have coverage on Tuesday night. Glad you could join us here on Semifinal Saturday. Nick Anastas, Kristen Cameron, the rest of our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire family. We're broadcasting, of course, in conjunction with the NFHS Network. This one has been fun to call. Pinkerton built up a 4-0 lead at halftime. Double-digit saves for their junior goaltender, Paige Fenner, who was bound for the University of Denver. That lead grew to 5-0 in the first minute of the third quarter. But then Souhegan finally was able to crack the code, so to speak. Avery Curran, Libby Kennedy again, as the Sabres end the third quarter with momentum. With an earshot at 5-4 as Izzy Stevenson cashed in the first few minutes of the fourth quarter, and it's been back and forth since. Doyle got her fourth goal on a free position shot for Pinkerton to extend the lead to 6-4. Emmy Curran answers less than a minute later at 6-5. Folsom gets a little bit of breathing room for the Astros at 7-5, and then Emmy Curran with another to make it 7-6. But Souhegan fighting a two-front war, both Pinkerton and the clock. Just 87 seconds remaining, and it's Pinkerton ball.
This is going to be an interesting 87 seconds. We've got Pinkerton with the ball ready to clear, something that hasn't been a strong suit for them all game. Souhegan, who desperately needs this ball back to try and tie the game up. The stakes have never been higher for the final minute.
Here we go. Fenner gonna flip it to her right. And swimming upstream here is the freshman Morrison. Hooks up with Folsom. Folsom in a sprint gets by Highmark, eyeing midfield. Folsom is met by Hickman. Crosses the 50, spins back to the middle. We approach 1 minute to go here in the fourth quarter, and Folsom still has it. Here comes Suki Folsom, being hounded by Souhegan defenders. Circles back around on that far side wing, and finally gets rid of it. Pass taken over by Doyle, who's been the scoring leader today for Pinkerton. The senior retreats to the corner. Following her there is the defender, Eva Stiles, down to 45 seconds. Game of keep away here. Doyle going to dodge, going to sprint out to her left. Second defender in the area. Meets her at the sideline. A little bit of contact. The officials blow the whistle. And the call, it looks like, is going to go against the Sabres with 31 seconds remaining. It's the third penalty of the afternoon against Souhegan.
Wow, that is a dagger.
Libby Kennedy going to jog to the penalty box.
Yeah, yellow card there is not what they needed. So Souhegan attempted to double the ball, but just with too much force, made contact there high. And the officials are going to send her off the field. So now Pinkerton has an opportunity to just run this clock down for 31 seconds. They've already killed about a minute here successfully, leaving it to Suki Folsom, trusting her with the clear, and then Francesca Doyle.
Doyle lost her footing. The ball ends up out of bounds, and Souhegan has it. 20 seconds, clock running. Now they stop it with 18.8 remaining as we get a timeout from the Souhegan sideline. Coach Bordoni got to draw it all up here in one play. The clear, the shot, and potentially the score as Souhegan tries to tie the game here. Less than 19 seconds on the clock right now. They may or may not add a couple of ticks as the officials head to the scorer's table.
All while being down a player. They've got to do that.
Right. Good point.
Yeah, so that was an interesting sequence at the end there because Souhegan gets called for a foul, yellow card. They sideline Libby Kennedy, and then they continue with their relentless pressure, and this time it causes the turnover. So Francesca Doyle was in dangerous territory there, flirting with the sideline, and that's exactly where you want to force them if you are Souhegan. And this is something that teams practice all season long. How do you handle an end-of-game situation? How do you run down a clock? You see a really emotional moment between Coach Katie Bork and Paige Fenner on the sideline. They're really, really close to pulling off something unbelievable, demonstrating a season of growth and accomplishment for this Pinkerton team. They've got 18.8 seconds to hold off the Sabres.
Waiting in the wings is top seed and defending champion Portsmouth. The Exeter players are shoulder to shoulder with them. Right here near midfield in the tunnel leading into the bleachers. They're the other semifinal, of course, which is set to take place at 6 Eastern. Still unfinished business here. They're going to leave 18.8 seconds remaining. Souhegan with the ball, down a player and down a goal, 7-6. That's Maddie Ben, I believe, with the ball on the restart. Or make that Jacobs. It's Jacobs. Here comes Jacobs left to right. Feeds it up the sideline. Hooks up with Stevenson. Stevenson looking to get the step. Down to 10 seconds. Stevenson trying to get to the cage. Goes middle. Shot goes up top and just high, but we get a whistle. Little contact there and potentially a free position shot on the way here. That was actually Avery Curran, number 7, not number 1. Collided there with the defender on the release. And the officials are going to give her a free position shot here. 4.3 seconds remaining. A chance for Souhegan to tie the game. It's on the shoulders of the sophomore Avery Curran.
The strategy there for the Sabres is give the ball to your fastest players and let them run it down the field. This is Curran versus Fenner for not necessarily a spot in the championship, but for a chance to go to overtime.
Fenner can get the stop. Pinkerton goes to the final. Curran gets the goal. We go to OT. Here she comes. Bouncer up and in, and we are tied at 7. Avery Curran goes right to the net, not to be denied. The sophomore with 1.7 seconds remaining has brought us right back to square one. 7-7 here in the fourth quarter.
I'm actually really surprised that the officials didn't call that one off because she was early off the line. She just beat the officials' whistle because you can watch this replay. She's in there before anyone else. But regardless, it was close enough for the officials to let that one go.
It comes with 1.7 remaining. After trailing by as many as 5 in the second half, Souhegan refusing to quit. They've come back to tie the game. And we're set to play out the final 1.7 seconds here as they frantically switch up the sticks. It'll be Emmy Curran against Mara, but overtime all but assured here.
This draw control doesn't really mean much here because the clock's going to expire.
Yep, it's won by Souhegan, and that's going to bring us to OT. What a game here on semifinal Saturday. Souhegan refusing to lose in that second half. They come back from 5-0 down, and they ultimately tie the game with just 1.7 seconds remaining on the clock. So Avery Curran in the clutch pushes this thing into OT. And now, Kristen, it seems like Souhegan clearly has the momentum. What's being said in the Pinkerton huddle by Coach Bork?
They do. So now that we've got a draw control, a fresh clock for overtime, Pinkerton has to figure out how are we going to get possession. They need the ball. This is sudden victory, so first team to score is going to go to championship game on Tuesday. Souhegan has been successful in the draw circle, and so teams right now, you've just got to go back to what you know. You trust yourself, your team, and you don't try to shake anything up. You just have to play consistently, try to win the draw, and play good, clean offense.
Meanwhile, there's a player down for Pinkerton as both teams are on the sideline.
I think that's Paige Fenner taking a rest.
Fenner, I think, stretching it out as the junior goaltender is having a word with one of her teammates here. Been quite an afternoon for Fenner. If you're just joining us, most of her saves came in that first half. And most, frankly, were of the highlight variety. 11 saves unofficially through 4 quarters. Her counterpart has had some timely saves as well, Molly Benson, the senior for Souhegan. And you predicted it. You figured goaltending would be big both ways. It has been so far in this low-scoring game.
Yeah, Paige Fenner was the story of the first half. She had a shutout, maybe for potentially the first time in her high school career, and nonetheless against a high-powered team like Souhegan. Souhegan played from behind for most of the goal, a position that they were completely unfamiliar with this season. Yeah. Again, only having one loss to Portsmouth early in the season, but they have fought back. They clawed their way back, and the determination that they showed with 18 seconds on the clock and the ball at the other end of the field, there was no doubt for them that they were going to get a shot off, that they were going to do everything that they could to send this game to overtime. And the celebration when that free position shot went in was some really, really fun energy.
Basically a buzzer beater, or as close as you can get in the sport itself. We see it at the tail end inside of 2 seconds here in the fourth quarter. So a free position shot for Avery Curran sends us to OT. The officials are meeting with the captains right now at midfield as we get set to start this extra session here in just a moment. Nick Anastas, Kristen Cameron, Division I semifinals. Pinkerton, the number 3 seed after a 13-5 regular season. 8 seniors on this veteran roster, led by head coach Katie Bork. And then on the other side for Souhegan, just as hot as anybody. Winners of 14 straight coming in. The one loss during the regular season took place in mid-April. They rattled off, as I mentioned, 14 in a row, including a lopsided win over Pinkerton back in the final week of April. 15-4 was that score. And both teams really were not challenged much in the quarterfinal round. Pinkerton took care of Londonderry, and Souhegan blew out Bishop Girton. Pinkerton led 5-0 early in the third quarter. Souhegan scored 4 in a row to make it 5-4. Back and forth we went in that fourth quarter until Souhegan, trailing by 2 with inside of 3 minutes, scored twice in the final 2:12, including the game-tying goal just a moment ago with inside of 2 seconds to play. 7-7. So Pinkerton psychologically going to have to recover very quickly as we get set for the start of OT here in Nashua.
Yeah, but teams waiting in the wings. Portsmouth looks like they're headed for a shakeout right now. They're anxious to get this 6 p.m. game going, which I do think will start bit behind schedule, given the OT here.
Right. Already 5:43 local time.
Yeah, it looks like both teams, Souhegan taking a bit more time to talk things through. Good energy, hearing some cheering, some hype from the Pinkerton sidelines. Fans have been getting into it. This is what it's all about. You know, I mentioned the progression for the Astros over the course of this season, just looking at the way this first matchup between these two teams played out. At the beginning of the season, you probably couldn't predict or even expect of yourselves that you'd play this team again to overtime the next time you meet. And so really credit to amazing coaching from Coach Katie Bork, Justine Doyle. The Astros have clearly strung together something really amazing over the course of the season. And they've just, probably the most improved team in the state.
Here we go. 3 minutes up on the board. And as you mentioned, the first goal wins it. If we go 3 minutes without a score, we'll do it again. Pinkerton will work right to left in this overtime session. Souhegan will head left to right. It'll be Mara against Emmy Curran. Both sidelines getting loud. The fan bases, which include a large number of students as well. There's a bona fide student section for each team. Scooped up. Souhegan's had the advantage there. They won 12 of the 18 unofficially during the first 4 quarters. And they win the first draw here in OT as well, trying to work out of their own end. Running the gauntlet. There's Jacobs. And she's going to draw what looks like a yellow card here against Doyle. Pinkerton's senior, who has been outstanding today with 4 goals, leading the way, but upset as she heads to the penalty box here.
Yeah, Doyle there just swings their stick, makes contact with Sophie Jacobs. Sophie Jacobs has been a trusted player in the clear for Souhegan. That's what can happen, though, in these types of situations. Emotions are running high. Intensity is at an all-time high. And Doyle just makes an error there that potentially could sideline her for the remainder of her high school career.
Now, remember, Kennedy is still in the box for Souhegan. Sabres picked up a 2-minute penalty in the final minute of that fourth quarter. So right now there's about a 50-second difference between the 2 penalties. So right now even strength for the next 40 seconds, and then the Sabres will have about a 50-second advantage.
6v6, so even if the Sabres, as they have been practicing all season, a player up scenario, they won't get to use it unless they kill some clock and wait until Kennedy is released.
Minute 50 on the game clock here in OT. Given room on the far side wing, it's Hickman. Back up top for Emmy Curran, swung over to Avery Curran.
Looks like for now they're working it around. Everything points to they're waiting for Kennedy to be released. Here she comes.
Yep.
We're about to be Sabres, a player up, 7 versus 6. But, if I'm Pinkerton, Fenner may count as a couple defenders.
He's going to have to here. Souhegan looking to complete the comeback and head to the championship round for the 2nd straight season. Minute 10 to go in OT. 30 seconds remaining on the Pinkerton penalty. Stevenson directing traffic. Or make this Kennedy. Kennedy wants a one-on-one, draws a slide, back door, tough catch. Shot, score, and that is it! Izzy Kennedy is going to send Souhegan to the state championship game with a goal here in overtime. What a release on that shot. Able to beat Fenner, who has been outstanding today, but in the end, it's Souhegan who gets it done. They complete the comeback, and they're back in the championship game for the 2nd straight season.
Wow, what a way to call game. We've got Kennedy feeding the inside to Stevenson. She backhands it to Fenner's off-stick side high, and that'll send her team to the championship. It's been this duo all season long, and it's only fitting that they end this game together.
You see the catch, and then like a reverse shovel shot there. Spikes the stick in celebration. It's the junior overwhelmed with joy here in the OT session. Souhegan never quit, never stopped believing. They trailed 5-0 early in the second half, and with one goal at a time, came back, tied it in the closing seconds, and then in the final minute in overtime, win the game on the second goal of the afternoon from Izzy Stevenson. So that is the final. 8-7. Souhegan with a win, a tough blow if you're Pinkerton, especially if you're the junior goaltender Paige Fenner, who was so outstanding today, but in the end it's not enough as the Sabres win it 8-7 in OT.
Yeah, Souhegan takes their only lead of the game to win it. They played from behind the entire time, but they were determined, they were persistent, and then in the end it lands them on top. But a really, really incredible performance from the Pinkerton Astros. So improved throughout the season, so well coached, led by Paige Fenner and Cage, a really amazing graduating senior class. Francesca Doyle, who goes out with a really, really impressive game to end her career.
So the final score, Souhegan 8, Pinkerton 7. Boy, if the second game's anything like the first, we're in for a treat. It's Portsmouth, the top seed, the undefeated Portsmouth Clippers, and the defending champions, looking for their third straight D1 title. Exeter, their Seacoast rival, standing in the way. The number 4 seed Blue Hawks have played well as of late. All right, we're going to take a break, reset the link. When we come back, it's game time again. Portsmouth and Exeter next. Souhegan a winner in OT over Pinkerton. For our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire family, which includes my partner, Kristen Cameron, my name is Nick Anastas, saying so long. Final score, final time in overtime. Souhegan 8, Pinkerton 7. This has been a presentation of the 2026 NHIAA Girls Lacrosse Division I Semifinals, right here on Friday Night Lights New Hampshire, broadcasted in conjunction with the NFHS Network.